Greetings and welcome, fellow travellers. Today we are going to go through my process of making pure ferrite out of thin air. Now, as some of you can see, I have brought in my little script here. I do apologise. Normally I do this straight flat form, but I want to make sure that I go through all my notes because there's quite a fair few things I wanted to go through. So I will be reading off my script just to make sure that I've got everything down. Okay, so as I said, let's get on with this. Today we are going to go through my process of making pure ferrite out of thin air, as well as some other things. Just to let you know, these are glitch-free methods. So when you get to a set point in No Man's Sky, you don't really need glitching. All the resources, money, nanites are there ready and available for you when you need it. It's just a matter of how you go about getting it. Now, I was going to make this one video split up into 3 sections, but by the time that I've gotten through just the first one, I realise I kind of need to do this in 3 separate videos. So guys, don't forget to sub and ring that bell so you're notified when the other 2 videos are coming out, as well as all the other great content that we do here. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, get us subs. Okay, right. Also, just to let you guys know, this is after patch 2.11, as there have been some balancing in this patch, along with bug fixes, quality of life upgrades, and general all-round changes, making pretty much most of what I've said in previous videos invalid and out of date. But still somewhat useful, so don't forget to check them out anyway. Okay, here we go. First vid, making pure ferrite out of thin air. And this is my way of making and manufacturing pure ferrite from thin air, otherwise known as oxygen. Pure ferrite, along with ferrite dust and carbon, are the base elements that you will be needing to do base building. And by God, you're going to need a lot of it. Now, as most planets have both carbon and ferrite strewn all over the place, you can spend hours literally wandering around just mining for carbon and ferrite. Alternatively, you can spend some time hopping from star system to star system, buying everything up in the market. You may even have built a ferrite mining base with auto miners, or, now that the Beyond 2.0 update is out, even the deep surface mineral extractors, and have a massive stockpile built up. But sometimes, when you're out there in the great vast expanse, exploring the universe, visiting wonderful lush planets, and dancing with the wildlife, and general frolicking and having fun with nature, you look over somewhere and you think, right, I want a skull fortress right there. And you just don't really want to go off and get all the stuff you need. You've got to start building right there, right then, because you want your skull fortress right there. So with that in mind, here is the basis of what you need to build up your base. You need a medium refiner, a full stack of oxygen, so like 9999 units or however many is in a full stack, and 1 single speck of ferrite dust. Just 1, or pure ferrite, whatever your poison. And like I said, this is all you need to make as much carbon and pure ferrite as you need. The key here is being that you need oxygen, and you are going to need a lot of it. Thing is, if you're traveling around the universe, you basically need oxygen to survive. And if you're like me, scavenging around from planet to planet, hoping to find some new rich oxygen plants, just won't cut it. So one of the first pieces of technology you should invest in when you have collected enough salvage units is an oxygen harvester. or now that the Beyond update is out, a deep surface scanner, gas extractor, storage unit, pipes and cables before proceeding to create a base with the main purpose of farming oxygen. But I mean, that's when you're actually creating a full-blown oxygen creation base. But for this purpose, just get an oxygen harvester, throw some carbon in it, and that will fill up and regenerate oxygen whilst you're actually mining, whilst you're creating your base. Now, as oxygen has so many uses, from charging your equipment to keeping you alive, I recommend carrying around at least 1 or 2 full stacks of oxygen wherever you go on general principles, just in case of an emergency. There are currently 9999 units in each stack. However, if you have set up your oxygen farm correctly, this should be easily enough to get. I will be making videos later on setting up bases, so don't forget to subscribe to catch those videos when they come out. Okay, so you have found your site for your new base and you have put down a medium or large refinery. It doesn't matter which, but you will need at least 2 slots in your refiner. So you have started building your base and oh no, you have completely run out of carbon and ferrite to create more building blocks, metal plates, and carbon nanotubes. A disaster, because you don't want to leave your work unfinished to go off for the next few hours just to mine more materials, or to just traipse around the galaxy trying to harvest it from all the different economies. But don't worry, here is where the magic happens, because as long as you have oxygen, you can create as much as you want from just 1 bit of ferrite dust. So here's how you do it. First, put the entire stack of 999 units of oxygen into the refiner and kick that off. This should start creating carbon. Before the last patch, the output of the refiner you could only hold up to 1,024 units, but now it can hold up to 2,048 units, thus doubling its output for one run, which is always good. Okay, so you have your first run of oxygen to carbon going at a conversion rate of 1:1, which will take a few minutes or so. So this will take some time. Go out and find a small rock of ferrite dust. Just one will do, as we need this to kick off the process. When you get back to the refiner, it should have created some carbon. Just take the carbon and put it into the second refiner slot. This will start making condensed carbon instead of just carbon. However, before that racks up too much, move the carbon to your inventory and replace it with condensed carbon. This will start making batches of condensed carbon more quickly. When the refiner is full up, it's time to replace the oxygen with the ferrite dust. Just 1 ferrite dust and 1 condensed carbon makes 2 magnetic ferrite, which when created can be put into the refiner on its own to make 2 pure ferrite for every 1 magnetic ferrite. So I think you can see where I'm going from here, but that's not the biggest boost. When mixing pure ferrite with condensed carbon, you can make magnetic ferrite at a ratio of 1:3. Sorry if I'm getting a little bit science techie nerdy here, but this is like the maths of how it goes to make something from just thin air. So with just 1 pure ferrite, you can create 3 magnetic ferrite, and when you refine the magnetic ferrite back down to pure ferrite, it will double that number from 3 to 6. So in essence, from 1 condensed carbon and 1 pure ferrite, you have just made 6 pure ferrite, and that is the carbon that came from the oxygen. I have quite literally just made pure ferrite out of thin air. But that's not all. I did say there are also ways of making ferrite dust from this. It's quite simple. When you need some dust, just take the pure ferrite you have, mix it up with a good old favourite oxygen. And this should make rust. Once you have made enough rust, put that through the refiner on its own, and hey presto, you've got dust. Now, with all this going through and you've managed to make enough ferrite dust, carbon, condensed carbon, pure ferrite and magnetic ferrite to build as many doors, rooms, ramps, ladders and stairs as you need. Using dust to create metal plates, carbon for nanotubes and so on, you'll find you'll be able to build most of the basis technology. Also, for an additional notice, you can do the same with cobalt. Just mix some oxygen to cobalt and ionized cobalt to basically get more ionized cobalt, which you can refine down when needed to get more cobalt, which is in turn just needed for some other base technology like holographic doors and so on. This has been the first of 3 videos that I'm making for No Man's Sky. Coming up, we still have base building, how to make your base work for you, and creating money farms and other such uses as getting all the oxygen you need. The 3rd video will be about farming nanite clusters and how things have changed after the latest update of 2.11. That's all the time we have for this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I have in creating this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as we have many more videos to come. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys out there.